welcome back to the 52-week organizing challenge, and this week we are going to be focusing on our kitchen counters and our sink. Now, if you guys are familiar with my channel, you probably have noticed that my kitchen is nothing spectacular. It's pretty small and basic, but it does function well for us. And here's how. I keep my countertops as decluttered as possible. If I use it on an everyday basis, it stays on my countertop. If I don't use it on an everyday basis, it needs to find a different home. By keeping things clutter-free, it's easier to clean, it's easier to use, and it just makes it look a little bit nicer. So basically, if I don't use it on an everyday basis, it doesn't have a home on my counter. I also try to live by the rule, when I'm finished, clear it. So basically, when I'm done preparing breakfast, I clear everything off the countertops and clean everything up as soon as we're done. So that way I'm ready to prepare lunch. When lunch is done, I clear everything off. So again, it's a clear surface for me when it comes to preparing dinner. So I'm not going into a time where I need to prepare a meal and have to finish cleaning up from a previous meal. It just is easier for me to start with a clean surface, and it takes hardly any time at all. So getting into that habit, when it's finished, clear it. Just clear it as soon as you're done preparing a meal, and I guarantee your counters will stay clean longer because it really does not take much time to clear it. But it does seem like it takes more time when you have to clear something and then prep a meal right afterwards. So just clear it when you're finished. Now my sink, I keep my sink pretty empty and clutter-free of dishes throughout the day by just getting into a really good dishwashing routine. We are blessed and have a dishwasher. I don't know what I would do without a dishwasher because I hate doing dishes. But getting into a good dishwashing routine will ensure that your sink is not cluttered with dishes all the time. So basically what I do is at night I run the dishwasher every single night, and then first thing in the morning I empty it. So I'm going into the day with a clean dishwasher, so that way as dishes are being used and dirty, I can plop them right into the dishwasher and they're not going into the sink. They're going right into the dishwasher, and then at night I run it, in the morning I empty it, and it's just a really nice cycle that I've gotten into, and it really does ensure that my sink stays pretty clutter-free from dishes. So just getting into a really good dishwashing routine does help with keeping your sink clutter-free. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you guys my counter space, what I keep on it, what I keep by the sink, and that sort of thing. Like I said, it's nothing special, but it works for us, and that's really all that matters. Okay guys, so here is our kitchen. I did not touch anything before filming this because I wanted to give you guys a realistic view of what my kitchen looks like on a regular basis. Now it is already almost 2:30 and I have made breakfast, a snack, and prepped dinner and lunch. Did I mention lunch? I did. Breakfast, prepped a snack, lunch, and prepped dinner. And my countertops are still pretty clean because I follow those rules that I talked about in the beginning of the video. So anyways, let me show you guys how I sort of organize my counter space. Over here, we have this weird little like angle here on this counter space. So that's a perfect spot to put our microwave because we don't really use this space anyways for prepping meals. So it's essentially out of the way, but easily accessed. So over here on the half wall, this is where I keep the kids' cups. They know when they're done using their cups, they go right back up here. They can get them when they want them, but they know when they're done with it, they go back up here. That way, I'm not searching for cups all day. Everyone knows where their cups go and where they can find them when they want them. Right here is where I keep a water bottle. I like to have one right by the sink. Same thing, just know where it is at all times, and when I need a drink, it's right there. The sink. Here's my sink. Like I said, it's nothing special. This right here is a water filtering system that's hooked up to our sink, which our sink sprouted a leak, so we'd have it sort of taped up. I know, it's not the best. We'll get to that eventually. But it doesn't have any dishes, so that's a plus. All of my dishes are in the dishwasher because I cleared that this morning. So again, it's midday and no dishes in the sink, because I am sticking with my dishwashing routine. Okay, behind the sink, I'm sure I could probably make this look a lot nicer, but these are things that I use on a regular basis, so I just keep them here It doesn't look the best, but it's functional. I keep some antibacterial hand wipes. I have a home daycare and 3 kids of my own. Sometimes there are emergencies that happen and we need to get to an antibacterial hand wipe before we can even get to the sink to wash hands. So I like to have those there in case of emergency. I keep my dish soap, my brush scrubber thing, my hand soap, and lotion. In the winter, my hands get terribly dry, so I like to have lotion right by the sink. And then in this little bowl, I just keep my sponge and like drain stopper thing. Over here, I have a dish drying mat. Now, I do keep this out most of the time because it almost like motivates me to just get the dishes that I can't fit in the dishwasher done and dry. So before, I didn't have a dish drying mat, and I don't know, it just seemed like they sat in the sink longer. But now that I have this out and ready to be used, if I have a big pot that doesn't fit nicely into the dishwasher, I'll just wash it quickly and then put it there to dry. I love these dish drying mats because they are so much more functional than the big drying racks. Drying racks take up so much space and they're hard to store. These can easily just get folded up and put away if you need this space to work. If I know I'm prepping like a big meal, I'll just take this and put it away. But on a regular basis, it stays out on this space over here. I just have like a little candle holder there. Camera just died, so I had to plug it in. Sorry guys, you'll have to work with me here. I am just trying to get this done before the kids wake up from nap. So this is just a decorative candle holder, which, you know, probably doesn't have to be on my counters, but I do like to burn a little tea candle in there occasionally. And then over here, this is where I keep my fruit rack stand thingy. I like having our fruit easily accessible on the counter because the kids are more apt to grab fruit than, like, you know, junk food if it's easily accessible for them. So I like to keep that there, and then I still have all of this space that I can use for prep space. On the stove here, I just keep this little utensil holder with all of our most used utensils. So in my previous video, 52-week organizing video, I showed you guys my kitchen drawers and cabinets. And this drawer right over here is where I keep the rest of our utensils that are not used on a regular basis. So these are just the utensils that I use on a regular basis. They're easily accessible, and I can easily just take this and move it over if I have to. Over here on this section of our countertop is where I do keep the crock pot if it's in use. If it's not in use, I have a spot right in this cabinet for it to keep that nice and clear. I am cooking in the crock pot today, so that's why it's out. And then I have a spice rack with all of our most used spices on it and a knife block. Up here is where we keep our little electric can opener, and that's it. I really keep things pretty simple, and like I said, I try to clear my workspace after I'm done using it, so that way it's always ready to be used and it's never like super messy. I do have this little island here, and that is always clear. I don't keep anything on it, so again, I can use that as extra workspace if need be. And that is it, guys. That is how I keep my kitchen functioning for us, how I keep the countertops organized and functional for us, and the sink clear most of the time. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and let me know if you have any tips or tricks on how to keep your countertops working well for your family. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll talk to you soon.